Hello and welcome along to another episode and a brand new season of this FM19 story, part of the Furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 18 episode 1 and today we're back for another big summer transfer special before we face Arsenal in a Community Shield, hoping to win the trophy at the third attempt. We've lost in the previous 2 years to City, but today we've got a different opponent, so hopefully at a wet and windy Wembley we'll be able to get the job done in the curtain raiser. We've got a very big summer of transfers to speak about, including a record sale from the club. The eagle-eyed viewers among you may be able to spot a couple of clues on this screen, and in fact one name that will slightly disappoint you. It's been a little bit of an evolution of the squad this summer, and a couple of surprise names on the way out. But firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series. I really do appreciate it and hope you're still enjoying it. We're chasing that elusive Champions League trophy, and hopefully this time we'll be able to get across the line and get the job done before FM20. If you haven't seen any news about FM20 yet, then do keep your eyes peeled on the channel on Saturdays. We're going to have announcements and reaction to features for the game, as well as some polls about teams we're going to manage next year and a couple of choices between saves, so you'll be able to shape some of the content on the channel in addition to the bits we've already decided. But let's go and have a look at this transfer window. Of course, if you're not up to date with the series, then do go back and catch up with it to see how we got to the point we are now as we go for some more big summer business. There's a few men that might still be going out either on loan deals or permanents, but we've made 2 massive signings this summer and almost managed to recoup all the money. So you'll see a couple of sales immediately there. We've bought in 133 million and then 155 spent on 2 big players, 78 and 77 million respectively. One of them's from the Champions League winners Bayern Munich, the other a young English player from Southampton, so a bit of a mix between the 2 pros there, but let's firstly have a look at the outs. So we've got loads of loans going at various levels. We've also managed to sell a few of our younger players. The first generation of Premier League regens we had have now made it through to 21 or 22, and we've been able to sell a lot of them on for decent money, which has really helped pay for one of these extra players. So I'm hoping that'll make a difference this year. The likes of Montano and Ruiz Diaz out on loan again, just because we haven't got room for them in the first team. James Smith, the youngster we bought in January, he's gone on loan to Middlesbrough and he's developing really well. He's already played 1 championship game this season after scoring a few at the back end of last year. Then Andrew Brown, our once in a generation player, has gone out on loan to Millwall, just 17 years of age, and he's developing brilliantly. 1 more year and I think he'll be ready to participate. He can surely play at Premier League level before the end of this save, as we've got at least a couple more seasons left. Then the first big sale is of course Lee Rutherford, £36 million to Brighton, and that probably tells you that one of our 2 signings is a striker, but a brilliant servant Rutherford's been. 108 league goals in 244 appearances, of course played more games in other competitions too, and more importantly the season we got promoted, he was on loan for us in the Championship, 36 goals in 46 starts, and he was the reason we got to this level. If it wasn't for him, we may still be stuck in the Championship, and even at Premier League level, he's had a few pretty prolific years. So despite him reaching the age of 30 this summer, we've sold him for 10 times the price we signed him for. What a fantastic player he's been for us, and I really wish him well for the future. Then the next one was Dan Batten, who went for £3.5 million to Norwich, a 22-year-old who wasn't quite going to make it for us, but can still have a good career at Championship level. I didn't think he was quite that good to be honest, but Norwich seemed to be wanting to play him. And if we continue to scroll down, there's one lone player I wanted to point out. We talked about Pete Haaland in the past. He's not the one we're going to speak about. A young centre-half who looks like he's going to make it. But the year before we had a pretty average intake. Fitzroy Nethersole was the star of it. He's gone on loan to Stoke this summer, and at 19 he looks a really decent centre-half. I've got a feeling he might make it next year. Moving down, we sold Tyler Henschel for 600 grand. He's gone to Lincoln in League One, 2 assists on his debut there, and we've got a sell-on clause for him as well. And then Alan Wood, the young left-back, we signed him for under £500,000 a few years ago. He came from Hearts for 275 grand, and we sold him this summer for 20 million. He was on loan at Southampton in the Premier League last season, played a full season and obviously impressed them, and now he's gone and joined them for 20 million in the summer, and again we've got a bit of a sell-on for him. So another big deal for us. We've also loaned out S18. He was our backup left-back last year, but he's now gone off to Monaco, and that tells you where our other signing's going to be, with Wood and S18 both leaving the club. Another sale for $500,000 to Kilmarnock, this time a young left winger in Jay Fuller. Again, he's a decent pro, but he's not going to make it at the top level, so we wanted him to go and get some football. Darren Palmer's been sold off to Galatasaray. He's gone for $6.75 million, made one appearance for us in the league last year, and was a pretty decent third choice player, despite getting loads of injuries. He did score loads of goals for Hull at championship level, and I'm sure he'll go and do well in Turkey, but a decent pro and a decent return for him, also with a bit of a sell-on clause. And then the big one of the summer comes along. You may have seen him on the home screen already. Dimitri Lapin to Manchester City, £58 million, a brilliant profit yet again. He's reached 28 years of age and just had 1 year remaining on his contract, and he refused to sign a new deal, so we had to go and let him go in the end. We have got a good replacement for him without having to actually sign a player, but we signed him 6 years ago for £18.5 million, and he's moved on for 58 now, a £40 million profit, 159 league appearances and 25 goals from midfield. He's been a constant hero and scored loads of big goals for us, and we wish him all the best in the future, apart from when Man City are playing us. And then lastly, it's Robbie Shepherd-Breeden, top scorer in the Championship for Bristol City last year. He's gone on to Wolves for about £6 million, and again, he's not the best finisher, but he's going to be a decent player at Championship or Premier League level. So we wish them all the best. It's a really good recuperation this summer. We've sold loads of players at decent values, and it's allowed us to buy 2 big improvements. So the first one of those was done pretty early in the summer. We spoke in the last final about Bruno Moraes, the left back who was struggling in some of the big games. He's been replaced now by Luca Wagner, who's joined from the European champions Bayern Munich, £78 million, but this is why. 5-star ability, 5-star potential, Belgium's first choice left back, our new highest earner at the club, and what a fantastic player he's going to be. Loads of experience across Europe, and I think he's going to be a superstar for us. So I'm hoping that he'll fit into our mentality well. Likes to be an attacking fullback anyway, so we'll see how he gets on this season, but fingers crossed he's going to be a superstar. And then the second one is partly to meet the homegrown quota, and also partly because he had supreme potential. Marco Grazia from Southampton, a 23-year-old English striker, an international now with a couple of caps, only 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. Not the best goal ratio for Southampton, where he's largely been playing out wide, but I think he could be a star for us, and we're going to give him a chance this season. Alex Andrade will start the year as he was in such good form last season, but I think Grassi is going to be a really super pro, and of course gives us an extra option on the wings too. We can go 2 up front if we really need to as well, as both players can complement each other if needed, so fingers crossed we'll be able to do well with him and take him to the top level. Then if we go back to the squad for the other big addition this year, and it's a player whose loan ended actually. We signed him for free 2 years ago. You may not even remember the name. Laurent Brunet, who became a wonder kid, a 21-year-old French midfielder. He's now 3-star ability, 5-star potential, and has the same level of ability and attributes as Dimitri Lapin, who we just sold for $58 million. To sign him for free and then make him worth $25 million, he signed a big new deal for 4 years too. We just had to give him a chance this year. Ray Probert will stay behind him as 5th choice, but it just strengthens our squad ever so slightly. Interestingly, our assistant manager now rates Malik Kante our best midfielder, so he's going to start the season alongside Omar, and Maddie Cater I'm afraid will have to settle for a place on the bench. I know he's turned up in lots of big games in recent years, but unfortunately he has had a lot of poor ones too, so Cater will race out of the first team, even if it is slightly harsh. Let's go and have a look at the lineup for the big game today though. The curtain raiser in the Community Shield. Man City won it against us the last 2 seasons as we play in our 3rd final in a row. 2 of them because we won the FA Cup, including this one against Arsenal, and then the one in the middle having been Premier League champions, but on both occasions we lost to City. So let's see who the media have got as favourites. Us, but only just. Torre Hole and Laurent Brunet's out, so that's a couple of players for us. Danny Cross is out, he's got a fractured lower leg, a player that's often done well up front for them, and Zakaria Gasser I've never heard of, but he's out long term for Arsenal. Brunet's obviously injured as we mentioned, but in addition to the 2 in that lineup, We've got Nsingi, our first choice centre half, just returning from injury and not quite fit enough yet. So Mon Iversen comes in at centre half today, a rare appearance in a competitive game for him. We're going to quickly change our fullbacks back to attacking duties, just as we had the season before last. We want to give them the opportunity going forward, particularly for Cura, who hadn't done so well last season. He may benefit from playing in his more natural mentality. So we're going to stick with a positive mindset today. We're not yet going to turn the tempo up. It means we've got Stojanovic in goal as we did last year, McDonnell and Mon Iversen now at centre half, Wagner the new signing with Cura on the other side. They're the two fullbacks for this game. Is in the holding role with Kante and Omar in central midfield. Kante gets the go in the Mazzala role. Yaladian and Silla on the wings with Andrade up front, and the other new signing Glaciers on the bench. We've also got players looking for first team football and a little bit of pre-season fitness, so it could be a very interesting game at Wembley, as hopefully we'll add another trophy to the cabinet. Let's go and get into the game against Arsenal, and fingers crossed we can start this season in style. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Arsenal. Still plenty of familiar names out there. Stephen Tong, the England skippers at left back. The first choice keeper Curtis in goal. Navarro, Van der Kolk and Fletcher all key players in attacking areas. And Conceicão's played against us hundreds of times, so he's certainly no stranger to this fixture. Let's talk to the lads and tell them to do it for the supporters, just as Stuart Jelling recommends. He's the one sort of lower level coach that survived along the way. As we tell the media Nsingi's not ready to play, we're certainly not resting him for this one. He's just not fit enough for action. So Stuart Jelling maintains his position, though we have replaced a couple of the other coaches and the scouting teams where we've had most of our improvement this summer as we continue to up our wages there. Andrade's got the ball on halfway, goes all the way back to McDonnell. Can we build our first attack of the match here as it's out to Silla on the left wing? He's charging at the fullback and now crosses. Oh, it's an awful own goal from Tong. Andrade into the box. He never looked like getting there. Tong was in the way, but it's a poor pass back, almost like he tried to guide it to the keeper, but in the end it went past him into the bottom corner. Wagner with a throw on the left as we pile forward again, and he delivers a decent cross to the box, headed away to Kante and now Yaladian. Oh, we're 2-0 up in 7 minutes. Surely we're going to win the Community Shield this year. I know it's not the biggest trophy, but it's a great start to the season, and it would be a great new sign for some of these signings, particularly the likes of Wagner, who was involved in the build-up to that goal. Kante had a role to play as well. I'm not sure if he'll be given the assist for that, but Yaladian looks in confident form again, something that bodes well this year. He's a little unhappy with us because we rejected a bid from Barcelona. They actually bid about £115 million. We tried to edge it up to 150, but Barcelona wouldn't go that high. Probably rightly so, but in the end he stays with us, and we have to go through this usual summer process where a few players are concerned or unhappy until the window shuts. As soon as the interest disappears in them, they'll all go back to normal, and as long as they're performing like this in the meantime, I'll have absolutely no complaints. So remarkably we're 2-0 up with one shot on target, as a free kick into the box by Arsenal's cleared away, and now Silla starts a 3-on-3 in attack. There's two in the middle for us if he can find them. He finds Andrade. First one hits the crossbar sliding in, drops back out to him 3 or 4 yards from goal, and he pokes it in, and it's 3-0 after 15 minutes. And considering Arsenal were the champions last year and are playing largely their first team today, this is a really good sign for the season. Of course we've sold Lappin to City, so they could come on strong this year. They normally have a good year after a bad one, but this has been a remarkable start to the season. With 3-0 up, having had one shot on target, and someone can explain that to me, considering we've had 2 goal scorers. Conceicão with the ball and it's cleared away. Kante tries to bring it out, and I'm not quite sure why we saw that quick highlight, as with half an hour gone it's 3-0, and we've still only had one shot on target. Wagner with a throw at left back. Conceicão nicks it high up the pitch. Fletcher shoots and it's blocked by the right back Cura, and then eventually Kante hacks away. 10 minutes to the break and we're looking pretty comfortable, though Arsenal have arguably been the better side. Wagner at left back again to Baccanez. Twice he's given it away from a throw there. Van der Kolk runs in and scores, and I have no idea what's going on with Wagner at left back. 2 throw-ins where he's given the ball away, trying to find Baccanez in a holding role. His rating rating's down to 6.1 as well now, so maybe it's just the left back position that's cursed. Nothing to do with the position he's playing or the role or duty he's got, it's just the fact he can't take a throw in, and unfortunately it's cost us a goal before the break. 3-1 to Torquay despite one shot on target, and we're very lucky to be 2 goals ahead, but we're going to warn the lads not to drop their levels. Van der Kolk takes the kick-off for Arsenal, Conceição back to Tong the left back. He obviously started this good day off for us so far, with a fantastic own goal from 8 yards out, a beautifully placed finish in the corner, and now he's got to try and make amends. His plumper at centre half though, trying to bring it forward to Fletcher, out to Tong the left back. Arsenal keeping possession well, but they're not really going anywhere, and in the end it's intercepted by Bacanes. Andrade finds Silla, who cuts in from the left, shoots towards the bottom right hand corner, and Curtis dives down to his left hand side to make a fantastic save for Arsenal. It's an Omar corner into McDonnell, header is against the keeper, but unfortunately he was adjudged to have fouled his man, so with 5 gone in the second half it's an Arsenal free kick, and it remains 3-1 to Torquay. It's a throw at left back for Wagner, and this time he takes it well. Down the line for Silla, the much safer option. Omar picks it up in a centre circle, and he finds Andrade 30 yards out. Charges at the defence and hits it straight at the keeper, and Wagner's levels drop below a 6 now, so I think the fullbacks could be subject to change. Cura's nervous despite a decent rating, so Richard Quirk and Bruno Moraes will come on, the fullbacks that featured often last season. Let's get back into it and see what difference they make, as the first 2 of our 6 substitutions have been used. It's a ball into the box from Omar from a free kick on the left, headed away as far as McDonnell. He brings it down for Moraes in the centre circle, who switches it out to Silla out wide again. Into the box, it's pinball in there. Andrade knocks it down though. Omar's header bounced over the centre half, and Andrade just taps it into the empty net. A really poor bit of defending by Arsenal, and I don't even feel like celebrating this lead. We're 4-1 up and we've not deserved to score. We've not really created any chances in the match. Let's go and make a couple more subs as well. Kante's going to be replaced by Keita. Bacanes in the holding role replaced by Raphael. And we'll leave it a few minutes before bringing on Gracia, just to give him his debut for the club. Just over 10 minutes to go, it's an Arsenal corner and in-swinger. McDonnell heads away and Keita flicks further. Delgado holds it up and finds Montero, as Arsenal build again from the halfway line. Tong to Plumper and now Montero. Van der Kolk gets it again. De Los Santos goes long over the top, but Richard Quirk brings it down. Moniverson finds Keita. He gets it back to McDonnell, the centre half, who will switch it out to the left eventually. Omar finds Silla and gets it out wide, and he can start to charge at the defence again. We've got a 4-on-3 as he finds Yaladian into the box, but it's a tame effort, and he's straight into the arms of Curtis as we're back with another corner. Before we see it, we will make another couple of changes. Sousa's going to come on for Yaladian. He'll play on the right for the last few minutes. Kozl's unhappy, so he'll stay on the bench, and Gracia will get a debut off the left. Not ideal or his preferred position, but we want to make sure he gets on the pitch. Keita 8 yards out to Andrade, shot blocked and finds Silla. It's off a Torquay man and behind for a goal kick, and just 10 minutes remain at Wembley. Omar in again towards Moniverson. We really are creating chances now. We've been a completely different unit in the second half. Arsenal not had a shot on goal at all, and we've been completely dominant, though we still haven't deserved 4 goals. It's Moraes back to Gracia the sub. Can he charge down the left and create havoc? He just lays it back and is cleared away via 2 men. Richard Quirk picks it up for Raphael. He finds Omar and now Gracia. Cuts inside and shoots. Brilliant effort from the new striker, but Curtis tips it up to his left hand side. It was heading towards the top corner, so a save the England number 1 needed to make. 5 minutes left as the ball's cleared away from the corner, and now we're back with Moraes at left back. It's been a brilliant game of attacking football as Jones bonds in at the other end. Brilliant sliding tackle by Moniverson, who deflects it behind for an Arsenal corner. It's an outswinger from Cal Fabio. Into the back post towards Plumper. Moniverson heads away as far as Tong, and now Delgado on the edge of the D. Out to Fabio at right back is blocked by Gracia, who's even doing his duties defensively now. Into stoppage time, I don't know how many minutes there'll be, but it looks like it's going to be a comfortable win and a trophy in our first game of the season. Third time lucky at Wembley here, the Community Shield will go to Torquay. We've got 90 seconds left to celebrate. The fans should already be looking forward to lifting the trophy. A nice day out for them at Wembley. The ones who can't make it to the big games, who aren't able to get a ticket, they're not the usual season ticket holders. They get a day out in London for this one. Bellardo brings it away on the left for Arsenal. Up to Navarro, the striker. Arsenal have gone 4 up front and Jones Dodd is charging forward. Jones bonds, in fact, with a shot, and he's cleared away via the wood woodwork, Moraes hacks it out for a throw-in. Vinicius at right back with the ball in, McDonald gets it away. What a game this is, it's breathtaking stuff. Highlights are relentless, there's chances at both ends. Bilardo bringing it forward for Arsenal now, who have certainly been a threat since changing their shape. Vinicius on the right as Moraes gets caught out, but he wins a throw-in after the deflected cross, and that will surely be just about it. As soon as it's taken, the whistle will go. Raphael plays a 1-2 with him. Omar finds Gracia on the left-hand side. Why has the whistle not gone yet, referee? Can you put everyone out of their misery? Moraes on the left finds Omar. We're still keeping possession. We play 30 seconds over now as Arsenal clear the ball, but Keita picks it up again for Sousa. Long towards Andrade, is headed away, and the final whistle does go at last. We get the pink and grey suit out yet again. The chicken dance there from Stojanovic, but a 4-1 win and a fantastic performance, despite a couple of favours from Arsenal. They were giving us gifts defensively. I guess that's nothing new for an Arsenal side, but for one that's been winning the Premier League every other year, we certainly didn't expect so many favours. Alex Andrade gets man of the match with a 2-goal display in that one, and it's a brilliant performance all round, which will build confidence ahead of the Premier League season next week. So there's the confirmation. Let's go and see what the media have said about it. We win the Community Shield after a pretty strong performance. In the end, we did have the dominant stats, despite not keeping much possession. Both new players made a debut, though Luca Wagner was a sign of warning. Had a rating in the 5s in the end, but it may have just been because of that mistake that led to the goal. We lead Torquay to glory. Of course, it's not a big competition, but to win something is always enjoyable, and to do it in the first game of the season makes it special. We praise Andrade for his form. Looks like he's picking up where he left off last year, and maybe that season 2 years ago was just a one-off bad one for him. We'll deal with the press conference off camera, but let's go and have a look at the schedule. We've got a really exciting spell coming up this year. Of course we'll be focusing on the Champions League. It's the one big trophy that still keeps eluding us, so we will show plenty of action from that. The group stages normally have been a breeze, but it depends who we're going to draw this season. So we'll get through the first 4 Premier League games. All of them look pretty friendly on paper. And then we'll come back for either one of the 2 Premier League games after the international break, away to United or at home to Liverpool, or depending on who we get drawn against in the group stages, we may show the first Champions League game instead. So one of those 3 games will be the next one. We'll obviously potentially have a couple more sales by then as well, but I wouldn't envisage anyone new coming in. And look who's missing out for West Brom at the weekend. Craig Lonergan-Irwin suspended. I'm not sure we sold him to West Brom, so he must have moved on again since then. Watford selling him on to West Brom. They made a loss, so it shows that we got a good deal for him, and I'd imagine his career will go downhill from there. But if you did enjoy this episode, the start of a new season, a fantastic Community Shield final performance, as well as 2 exciting new transfers, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I really can't thank you enough for still following along, and I hope you continue to enjoy it as much as I am. Let me know your opinion on the 2 transfers, and whether I should be worried about Wagner's performance there. I think it might just be a one-off with that goal, but we'll obviously keep an eye on it in the early weeks. We've still got Bruno Moraes, last season's first choice, so if it does all go wrong, we've still got him available. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from this Torquay United story. We'll have new episodes every Sunday to Thursday at 4:30, and in the vacant Saturday evening slot, where we used to have our head coach episodes, we'll have announcements relating to FM20, reaction to features, and as I mentioned earlier in the episode, there will be some polls in those videos as well, so you can help shape the content on the channel next year. There's also 3 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 series. That's every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. We continue our career as we reach county level there, so come and join me to see how we're getting on. And then finally our World Championships run continues in our Snooker 19 career every Friday at 4:30. It's the final event of the series and we're trying to go all the way to emulate Ronnie O'Sullivan and be world champion. So come and see how we get on. Hopefully we'll make it all the way, but of course if we have a failure in the meantime, you'll get to see it live on camera. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another important episode as we try to compete for the Premier League title and chase that elusive Champions League trophy.